Hello, my name is Douglas, and this is my first YouTube vlog, which I'm going to call the Blue Apple Blender vlog. Um, I was actually having a conversation with my brother over dinner a few nights ago, and I was telling him about my animation, about what I'm trying to create and my process, and he suggested that I just start publishing sort of in progress videos directly onto YouTube. So I quickly looked up how to record a screen image with audio and just doing a quick time record on my Mac here and just talk a bit about myself and a bit what I'm trying to do. We clearly have Blender open, and I've been sort of learning how to use Blender for the last 6 months from never having used it before, just opening it and just starting with the donut tutorial from Blender Guru, which a lot of people start with, and working my way through YouTube until I was able to create something that I think is worth sharing. So I'll just share a bit of my journey so far and where I started and where I am now, and a little bit about where I plan to go to in the future. So let's start with an image, shall we? File open, prepare my images. So I basically started out just modeling a simple cartoon character, just learning how to use the software. So I created this clown character. There really is it was based off a little toy I had sitting on my desk, and I kind of stuck that into ChatGPT and kind of helped it create a little simple character and use that to kind of use that as reference. And I created this clown, and I was gonna rig him and make him a cartoon. And as I kept learning, it turned out that I didn't like this clown anymore. So like a lot of people, I kind of started again and took what I learned and moved on. And the next thing I worked on was um, a little more complicated. I just created a character again, um, just a simple kind of humanoid character in a pair of shorts. And again, I based him off of a little toy I had in my office of a zombie character just for the body shape. And I kind of took some pictures, modeled off that, used some references, stuck it in ChatGPT, and created this character here. It's a little bit of wireframe on there, and ended up setting some lights up with some simple textures, and kind of ended up with this kind of character in here. And I was happy with this, and I spent a lot of time learning how to model, learning a little bit about some texturing, just a simple sort of texture that I pulled off using some tutorials there. I tried to do kind of a painterly texture on there and created this character and stuck some lights on him, and it was like, okay, I was like, now I'm getting somewhere. But I was sort of had originally wanted to do like a kids cartoon, sort of something simple with a bunch of sort of simple characters kind of dancing around, and I felt like at this point I had sort of started to make it too complicated for me. Obviously, this is still a simple character, but for me, I was like, I wanted to simplify it a bit more and not sort of bite off too big a piece of the blue apple, let's say. So I took this guy here and I took the lessons I learned, and I thought I'd kind of go again, and I thought I would build another model and work from there. So then my next evolution was creating a sort of a little group of animal characters that I thought were a little simpler. Kind of gave them some colors. This is where I went on Pinterest. I actually spent some time on Pinterest, and I was kind of inspired by some little shark character. So I kind of rotoscoped out the shark character here because I like the form and the shape and the simplicity. And I took that character as a base, and I just kind of started creating out a bunch of animal characters. So as you can see here, we have a turtle, a rabbit, a fox, a beaver, a duck, a bear, and a pig, and a little doggy right there. So I created these characters, and I was like, okay, these are nice, simple characters. Maybe I can work with this. I'll drag you to the attention towards this little duck, which I actually really enjoyed. This little duck, I thought that was a cute character. And I was also fond of this bear as well too. And I really loved this fox. And the other characters, I was sort of like not bad. Um, my wife actually quite enjoyed them and thought they were very cute. So I kind of went from there, and I thought I'd just explore a little further. So then I got into some more sort of tune shading looks and some rigging, and I had my next step was I kind of took this character, did a little turnaround, added some lights and a simple tune shader, and we kind of have this character going on here. I learned a lot from that, and I was pretty happy with that. I also got a very basic little rig in here. I was learning how to rig, so I was digging into some tutorials on rigging. And I kind of built this kind of simple character rig there. Squashes and stretches. Does the things that a rig does, but as you can see, it's not a perfect rig, but again, I had never really rigged before, so I was just kind of learning on the go there. We'll show off a simple rig I did for the eyes there. So you got eye rigs there. It kind of moves around his face there. We can change the eye, give him eyebrows there, and the eyebrows move up and down. His other eyebrow there. As you can see, we got a little moving around in there. I actually modeled two different eyes. So we have the secondary eyes for these kind of expressions here. A little movement there. There are lots in this rig I actually wasn't super happy with. There is a mouth in here somewhere. It probably at this point is, oh, there we go, unhide the mouth. As you can see, the shader's not set up in the mouth yet. I kind of set up a little mouth in there. And you might recognize this character from the image on my YouTube page. I kind of used a screenshot of this character for the profile picture of my YouTube and my Instagram channel. And yeah, this is my first character. I rigged him. I was relatively happy with him, but there was still lots of stuff that I was not fully happy with, which is I think how every artist is. They create something and for a moment they're happy, and then they wake up the next day and they're suddenly not happy. So then I went from here and did some more research on YouTube and came up with my next iteration. I'm not going to save that. And the next iteration here was I just created this blue character here. So again, I took a lot of the shading lessons I learned from the bear. I applied the same sort of tune step from him, some tune lines. He's not fully rigged like that character because I actually was digging into rigging. I have a little bit of eye movement there. his eyes will blink, and then if I grab these little guys here, his eyes will move. But again, it's not fully rigged or set up to work yet. It's just sort of the main pieces there. I have a mouth based off a Boolean there. So we can actually kind of hide that mouth to show a line for kind of some simpler smile shapes. So I kind of built this character, and I was like, okay, like I like this little guy. He's cute. You know, I learned some new lessons, new techniques from him. Hopefully, slowly improving my modeling abilities. Although again, we're still looking at a very simple character. And then from there, I kind of thought I'd go back to my theme of my animals, and I wanted to kind of create these animal characters again. So I took this guy as sort of a template, similar to the shark-like character I showed you on the last set, and I kind of went and I started modeling some characters in this kind of style. So we have our blue guy again here, like you just saw. Oh, let me just open the wrong file. We're gonna open. There we go. Puppet style characters, animals. And why did I call it puppet style? I don't know. I just gave them names that worked for my convention. So now we can see I've kind of reimagined all those original characters that you saw the bear rig for. There's my bear. I kind of redesigned him and added a toon shader on again and a very simple light setup. And you can see the old characters floating above the new characters there. So you can see I've kind of kept the same feel, same animals, but I've kind of updated the style to something that kind of is similar to this blue guy. So I use this blue guy as a base, and I move forward. And I was gonna model these guys, rig them, and start creating some animations, but as does happen, I became unhappy with them. I was like, I don't like these characters. Something about them just doesn't feel right to me. I think I can do better. So I sort of went back to the drawing board again. And then we get to where I am now. This is sort of where I am in my process right now. I'm going to go don't save. I'm going to open what I call my cute fox. But there's more than cute fox in there. So the last character that's recently modeled, again, I took a lot of stuff from my old characters, a bunch of Instagram, a bunch of Pinterest, and kind of put references together and created a bear and a fox and a duck. I narrowed it down to 3 characters because I didn't want to do 7, have to rig all 7. And during this process as well, I'm taking a course, which I think a lot of people have heard of, called the Art of Effective Rigging 2. I believe that's a very popular course I've heard of on YouTube a lot. A lot of the creators I mentioned took that course. So I'm in the process of taking that and learning how to rig better, and I plan to kind of bring these characters to life using some of those techniques I'm learning right now. And again, we have our simple toon shader set up on here, which I will bring online again. So simple toon shader set up on here and on my 3 characters, and I do want to kind of evolve this shader and add some better painted textures on here and improve these characters and get a rig on them, and I guess document that process. And my plan is, every week I will be posting a new video just showing the progress of these characters, the progress of my rigging, and the look development of these characters till eventually we have fully done characters that are rigged and ready to animate, and maybe a nice sort of turnaround on a beautiful little stand showing them off, and little rigging demo reel, which if I'm lucky could lead me to some work in the future, or at least a final cartoon or a final little short that I'd like to put out. But it's a long process. I've got a lot to learn, and again, we're just documenting it through the journey. And I guess thank everyone for popping in and checking out my video. And I can only assume right now, mostly it's my family and my friends who are checking this out and hearing me blabber about it for the last 5 minutes. But yeah, more videos to come, and as I learn how to edit, maybe I'll be able to edit and add some better kind of video quality. But for now, I'm just happy to share a screen record here on my Mac of my process. And because I probably have very few followers right now, I have 0 followers, and I assume I'm only going to have a few as I send this to my family and friends. So if anybody happens to come across this and who I don't know personally, who couldn't just give me a text or give me a phone call and wants to throw a comment or a question down below, I'm happy to, chat some more and explore and learn from everyone here on YouTube. So we're gonna end the video with that, and thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. And yeah, this has been Doug from Blue Apple Tree Animation, which is my YouTube channel. All right, have a great one. Bye.